Hello everyone and welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Ross13, and today, what's old is new. We are looking at the Masters of the Universe origin, He-Man. Picked this guy up the other day and I'm super excited to check him out. I was a big fan of He-Man back in the day, and so it's kind of cool seeing a new version of the old figure, but with some added articulation. But before we get into the figure, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. Alright, so I'm going to have to maybe hand do this because it is a very tall package. So we got new for 20 because that's a reference to how they would do stuff for, say, like new for 84 or something like that on their old packaging. Masters of the Universe in a cool retro looking style. He-Man, most powerful man in the universe. Modern posing, retro play. Then we got He-Man himself trapped in his plastic prison. We can see a comic book behind him. And we got a shield and I believe his sword back there as well. Mattel logo. Then over here we have, with the mystical power sword, the mighty He-Man protects Eternia from the forces of evil. Includes comic book. Modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures or in new action-packed battle positions. And we got callouts for all the other characters and what it can do. Sword fits into the hand. I would certainly hope so. Twist into powerful battle positions. And we got He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, Evelyn, and Beastman, and then a whole bunch of extra stuff that you guys probably don't care about. And that's it for the packaging. A little bit simpler than some of the other stuff we've done. But let's go ahead and take a look at this guy himself. And here he is. And he looks pretty impressive. I didn't have this version of He-Man growing up. I looked up recently, I think it was called Thunder Punch He-Man, where he had like a set of like blast caps in his backpack and he would set them off when he did a punching action. But I do remember the He-Man line. So this is very nostalgic feeling for me. But the main draw for this is that nostalgic feeling because it's very much a standard He-Man looking figure. But also, he is highly articulated, particularly in comparison to an old He-Man figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So the head appears to be on a ball joint, which allows for, movement up and down and around. Though the hair is blocking stuff a little bit. Oh, nope, you can go full Exorcist if you want. The shoulders are on, looks like we got a disc joint in there that pegs into some sort of system of joints inside the body. So you can rotate around and rotate out about that far. So not too bad. Elbow is single jointed. It's a little tight on mine. Looks like another disc hinge, but it pegs into the arm, so you have rotation at the elbow. The wrist has another hinge and then is pegged into the arm. Reminds me a lot of like I think like Figure Arts, and some Gunpla models have that style of jointing. And he does have this hand is a holding hand. This hand is a more open, expressive hand, I guess. He has simple waist joint, no chest crunch, ab crunch. Let's see. He can kick up a little bit, but the way things are designed is a little bit restricted. But he can go out. So yeah, he's got. It looks like he has a ball joint that goes into his leg there, and that's where he's getting that mobility. Can't quite kick back. The knee is single jointed, but is set up so that way you have a little bit of rotation as well. You actually have a boot cut, which I was not expecting. And then you have an ankle that can go back and forth and a little bit of side to side. So that's not too bad, all things considered. Let's see if I can get him into a neat pose. Oh, that elbow joint is scary tight. Yeah, so there you go. That's not too bad. Accessory-wise, he comes with 3 things. 4 if you want to be generous. First, we have his shield. Has some nice red paint apps on there. And that, I believe, just goes on like that. Next, he has the power sword, which is very cool because it is designed very much in the style of the original toy. So you have the weird sort of handguard like thing on there, which was needed on the retro toy in order for it to actually hold it. Also, it's only 1/2 of a sword. See, in the original Pac-In comic, the power sword was actually a sword in 2 parts, and Skeletor had the other half. And in order to open the drawbridge of Castle Grayskull, you had to have both swords combined together and put it into the lock. So that's really cool that they duplicated this. They could have just given us a full one, and I don't think anybody would necessarily have batted an eye about it. Maybe you would have had some people making 3D prints of the original or something. But this is neat. My original He-Man had a sword like this, and that's why I remember it so clearly. Though, if I remember correctly, the He-Man I had a golden sword, but that's just because it was a different style He-Man. Anyway, this goes into his hand like this, I believe. Yeah. Which means you kind of have to have it displayed like this if you want it to look accurate. And then there is one more. His axe. This is more of a toy accurate thing. Not a whole lot going on here, but you can take this, put it in his back, and then put that in his hand. And I think part of the reason for the axe is because in the original storyline they had created for He-Man, he was more of a like nomadic barbarian a la Conan, before the cartoon kind of redefined who he is. The last thing he comes with is this, a Pac-In comic, very much in the style of the original one, though this is a very much new comic. Not going to read it to you or anything like that, but the artwork on it isn't too bad. And I swear I recognize the artist. The style reminds me of the Plants vs. Zombie comic from Dark Horse. I've read that to my son countless times. But there's no credits on here, so I have no idea who did it. At least no credits that I can find. Then on the back you have callouts for the other figures in the line. So it's another little retro edition that is greatly appreciated by this collector. Comparison-wise, here's what he looks like next to a HG 1/144 scale Gundam kit. So almost the same height, but definitely not quite as bulky. On the other side of things, here is a modern deluxe class Transformer in the form of Siege Ironhide. So this guy's a little bit taller, though they're about maybe the same bulk. It just kind of depends on how you want to think about that. Here's a Haro. And here he is next to his Zoid. This is just what I happen to have on my desk. You know what? Here. A bath toy, too. We have fun over here. So yeah, that's something to be aware of, is this is a kind of a chunky action figure. Which, that's what he's supposed to be. He was designed after the retro style figures. And they were very chunky. That's also why the proportions on this guy are a little weird. Focus. Because they wanted to really pump up those heroic proportions. So, yeah. If you like He-Man, Master of the Universe stuff, if you like retro action figures, I'd say get this guy. At the Walmart I got him at, they have an entire end cap full of all these characters. I don't remember seeing Tila or Evelyn there, but I was mainly looking for He-Man and one other that you might see in the near future. And yeah, so if you want this guy, I'd say get him. He's pretty decent, and I can't see anything to really complain about outside of what he is. So, yeah. And now I'm just rambling. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official Shelf Space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you invade my Shelf Space.